So I'd like to welcome to the stage our next speaker to talk about animating for the Metaverse. Do we have Pablo Jordi? Pablo Jordi, are you in? There you are already. Pablo, come to the stage. A big round of applause for Pablo, our next speaker.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, that's your clicker, by the way.
That's my thing. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, hello. Thank you for being here. There's so many interesting talks. So I'll be moving from one side to another so I can see all of you. So this is Animating the Metaverse. I would like to introduce ourselves to explain you who we are at Pikkukala. I'm Pablo Jordi, CEO of Pikkukala. So I'd like to explain a little bit who we are, why we decided to animate the Metaverse. In our case, that means why did we decide to bring animated IP into Roblox, even if this animated IP has almost a decade, and then how we're doing it. So if you know us, maybe you know us for our work with some of these big brands like Angry Birds or Moomin, or maybe you know us because at Pikkukala we do our own IP. Here we have Royals Next Door, Sari, Fungi, and Taste Buddy. So we tell stories. What we do at Pikkukala is we tell authentic stories, and we aim to change or impact positively the lives of children in the long term. So how did we move from that to getting into Metaverse and Roblox? I guess you have probably read this book or you have heard of it. Could you kindly raise your hands if you have read this book? Nobody? Oh, okay, great. So it's like the Bible of the Metaverse. And that makes me really happy because when I first read this, I was a total zero. I thought the Metaverse was a part of the foot, bones. Here, but it's not. And now I'm an actual expert, and I'm here. And you haven't read the book, so I have an advantage there. So what you learn from this book is that there's actually no consensus about what the Metaverse entails. There is certainly elements of VR. There are elements of AR. There is certainly some blockchain, Web3 elements, and most interestingly, there's a lot about gaming and game engines. Fun fact, in the whole book, which is quite thick, there's exactly 109 mentions to the Unity engine. There's like 56 mentions to the Unreal engine, and there's 0 references to the Godot engine. So that's too bad. But anyway, the interesting thing about this whole Metaverse fast word and concept and what is behind, for us, it was the fact that the element of having different people playing concurrently and exploring a world together is something that's actually happening now, and it's not a promise, unlike the blockchain or the virtual reality, which are more like a dream. But in reality, now we have Fortnite, we have Roblox, we have these platforms that actually work and attract a lot of people. So yeah, then I have this picture of Mark presenting his project Meta. Yeah, so why did we move into Roblox specifically, and why did we choose to use this old IP of ours? So the reason why we went with Fungi, with our old animation series into Roblox, is because we found that it was a real match between the IP and the platform. And it was crazy for us to realize because it hadn't been conceived about like an interactive project at all. And it was done in 2012, so it's quite incredible. Then the animation series has been in 10 countries, and we have some audience. But now we realize that this can find a new audience in Roblox. And then the reason why we went specifically to Roblox and not another platform is because our audience is there, so children from 8 to 12 are already there. The platform is already up and running. It's not a beta like Sandbox or some other that are struggling to get that kind of mass. And then it's very accessible. So you have 10-year-old children making games for Roblox, and the setup is not that complicated. The platform, the infrastructure is there. So that's really appealing for us. And the reason why we say that we think that the IP really worked with the Roblox platform, so is because Fungi is about a fungi house. It's a place where a community of neighbors are cultivating fungi, which is some kind of mushroom, and they're using it for everything. They use it for food. They use it for their own accessories. They use it to create medicines, hair products. So depending on how they use this fungi, there's a lot of interesting characters around. There's like Tom the handyman, there's Julia the hairdresser, there's Clara and Luciano who have the restaurant. So there's a lot of these different uses, but everything is around this fungi. So in the series, we had two kids that were hanging out and being really looking what these neighbors were doing. And so the core was really about the curiosity of your community and your surroundings. And then if you see this is like a cross-section of the fungi house, if you see all the small little places with the hat shop and the laundry and the supermarket, there's the hair salon, all of this, and most importantly, the fungi farm. All these places could be a mini game or could be a nice Roblox place, no? Because it's quite, it feels like it was ready to do that. So we feel like the fungi economy, the fact that they were playing and trading with fungi and using fungi for everything, and the community were these two elements that we said, oh, this was like a Roblox game before Roblox. So when we thought about game design and where to take it, it felt really straightforward. It's all about getting fungi, using them with your friends in some of these places or activities, and then becoming better and exploring. And the idea of to explore the fungi house and to be curious about it is what will keep you, coming back. So we, of course, transformed this idea of the fungi in some kind of fungi currency. And it's a grand design. We have plenty of stories. We cannot do everything all the time, all at once. So we decided to start with the two basic places in the fungi house. One is the street, which is kind of a lobby or a place where people can meet, and also a hub to get to your other experiences, like using the elevator or using the metro. You can get to other places. So that was really important as a first place to present. It was quite nice to make the transformation or the translation of the 2D designs, which are really specific, into a 3D world. I think they work quite well. But of course, this is going to be more interesting when you can actually get to a lot of places. The second place we decided to focus on was the fungi farm, and that's important because the whole universe of the fungi house is around this. Hello, are you still there? Yes, hello, this part of the audience? Yes. So we did focus on the fungi farm, and we did a mini game. And for the mini game, we were lucky enough to work with All Hats, which is this team of very experienced developers, Simo and Oli. It was really a delight to work with them, and they managed to make this this mini game that actually allows us to help Nisse picking up this fungi, trying to avoid the rotten or the bad fungi, and trying to get the good ones. And in the end, you get a reward, so you can actually earn some fungi. So that's really the best first step for this big project, because earning fungi, the next step will be being able to spend it, maybe on some of the hats from the hat shop. And in the long term, of course, the idea will be to bring to go to new places, and we have already started working on some of these. On some of these places. This is going back in time. Yes, maybe the videos are too heavy for this. Let's give it a minute. So we worked on the laundry, and we worked on the lab, and we've been working on the cinema. It's thank you. You can make the videos play, but they're really heavy, so maybe that's why it's not working. Imagine a very nice 3D environment with incredible textures and a lot of things happening. We can just go to the next one. Yes, thanks. So apart from making more and more places, this was also a video, but I wonder if it will play. We want, as a second thing, to let people customize their characters. Because the fungi houses were open for everybody, and we actually did these profile pictures not long ago, and we were using the same features for the faces of the fungi people to create some of the NPC characters in the experience. Very soon, we'll be able to let players have their own avatar with this kind of features, and maybe a little bit later, we'll be able also to let people have their own place, their own space in the Fungi house. Because who wouldn't like to have a little apartment there and then make it pretty and show it to your friends? So yeah, we're just in the beginning right now of this journey. We wanted to share why we went there. There's a lot of talk in the entertainment and children animation business about Roblox, but most of the indie brands and smaller brands are not doing that much. So we wanted to share this. And of course, at this point, we're trying to develop it further to get some funding, maybe to keep testing it. We are testing the game. And maybe one day to make it grow like mushrooms. Thank you very much.
I'll come on stage too. We've got plenty of time for questions. I think we're still got a fair few minutes left. So do we have any questions for Pablo about his work on Fungi House and animating for the Metaverse? Oh, one in the front row here.
Hey, thanks, Pablo. That was really cool. Yeah, when is the game going to be released? When's like the alpha launch, and yeah, when can people play it?
Well, thank you. Yeah, so we are in this pre-launch status right now. We are testing the Fungi Farm Rush game that we did with all hats, and the idea is towards the end of the year to have the game to be able to make a soft launch of that, including the ability to buy some hats. We have plenty of hats, but we are not able to sell them yet. So that would be the roadmap. But it's interesting how the financing works for a project like this, because we have the IP and we have plenty of ideas. We managed to scrap some public funding from Finland and from Spain to create like transmedia stuff or metaverse stuff. But this is something that would really require to run as a service. So if we manage by the end of the year to launch it like this, maybe it's like a proof of concept good enough to get serious funding. Yes.
That's interesting. So there's funding from the authorities to develop for the Metaverse.
Yes.
That's interesting. To encourage people in Spain to work with new technologies and.
Yeah. Well, at least that's the case in Spain and in Finland. Yeah. Here we got some funding from ABEC, so they are always open to new crazy stuff. And in Spain, there was also some support for the creative industries.
Great.
So they encourage people to break barriers. And
yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Do we have another question from the audience, perhaps? Oh, there's one here.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for the talk. So I just want to ask about the kind of like the business side of thing, because from my understand that if you develop game for Roblox, they cut realistically go into like 50 or 60% compared to if you go to like mobile or console, it's just 30%. So what do you think about this cut? Do you think it's justified or not?
Yeah, the thing is, of course, this is like a captive platform, and they got you have to pay this tax, but then that in our case that pays off because you have all the infrastructure, and it's so frictionless to start developing for Roblox. So in our case, because we want to monetize the game in the midterm, but mainly we want to let the brand grow, and we can pay the price to pay a really high percentage. Because we can smoothly get in contact with millions of players and that are already in Roblox, and we have this technology of the servers that we don't need to reinvent. So it's a balance that makes sense in our case. That's why a lot of bigger brands are getting into Roblox, because they have this critical mass and it's easy to get in. So for us it makes sense because we have a brand.
Yeah, that's interesting. The audience is already there, I guess. That's the Roblox audience is already there. That's right.
So and it happens to be now they're like starting to skew higher, but traditionally it was up to 12 years old who were playing Roblox, so it made a lot of sense.
Absolutely. I mean, I've spoken to Roblox a little bit, and they've made it clear that the thing is that their audience grows up with Roblox. So they age too. Do you have any other questions? We've got a few minutes left before our panel comes to the stage. So, are there any other questions? Oh, there's one over here. Thank you.
Maybe we should ask you.
Maybe. What is or has been the most challenging things to bring animation series to Roblox?
Yeah, the most challenging build. Oh, sorry. Maybe the most challenging thing is that there's so many possibilities and opportunities that you want to try and make a huge design and make too much, and to narrow it down to making one solid game that works and people want to play. That's the hard part, because the brain, of course, then we have a lack of more technical people inside our team, but that's why it was really good to work with you guys with all hats. Yeah, but it wasn't that challenging. I think it's okay.
Do we have any other questions? We've got a couple of minutes left, so if there's any other
I was so stressed, I had too much material for 15 minutes.
Right, no,
so I drank an extra cup of coffee. And yeah,
we finished a few minutes early. That's fine. It gives plenty of time for questions. Sometimes there's questions that can go all morning. But thank you very much for your questions so far. Is there anything else that you'd like to ask Pablo while we're here? Can you tell me a little bit more about Fungi House? We've got a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
So this is an established IP.
Yeah.
So you were so what was it like working with the kind of the IP holders, the people who are invested in the story?
It's us. That's
right. So you have all the writers for it and the designer. So establishing that universe, how do you go about kind of maintaining consistency in the metaverse, I guess, is the question I'm asking for IP.
Yeah, you have to make some compromises, of course.
Right.
But and you cannot be too explicit. We found in a really literal level, we realized taking the backgrounds from 2D to 3D, the scales wouldn't really work, because the Roblox people are a bit chunky, and they need wider space to get into the doors. And then on a finer level, of course, this is going to be a live going on service, whereas the series you always have control on what's happening to which character and what people are seeing all the time. This is more like giving the car keys to the audience, which is also nice. Yeah, so it's very exciting for us. Yeah, in that sense.
That's great. Well, look, I'll tell you what. Let's leave it there. Let's give Pablo a round of applause for talking about Metaverse.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You've also given me some reading material as well. I clearly need to go and read Matthew Bull's book.
Oh yeah.
about the Metaverse. So
yeah, everybody read it.